All right, good morning, everyone. And as Josh said, we apologize for the delay, but we're grateful that you took the time to get on and join us this morning. So I'd like to call the Heartland Continuum of Care General Membership Meeting on September the 21st, 2023 to order at 9:11 a.m. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting. If there are no corrections or additions, we will, those minutes will stand. Hello?
Yeah, I just scanned that. That's the Fund 71 budget, John.
That's another call there.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I don't recall that in the minutes. So.
Val, it's done. A motion to approve minutes.
Okay. All right. So the minutes will stand as presented. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. We'll is it Josh? Are you going to talk about the SEED initiative, or do we have somebody else on the line that can do that?
Well, let me double check real quick. I think it's going to be me, it looks like here. Yep, it's going to be me. Okay. So we're going to provide a quick update here. Deputy Chief Stunkel provided an update on this. I think actually probably was the last general membership meeting. But the SEED initiative is an initiative that has been made possible through a grant through the Springfield Police Department. And they've been engaging different partners now for, I think the first kickoff was back in January. And then different organizations have been helping to shape the concept. And this initiative is getting close to launch. So we want to keep it on your radar. There's going to be likely in early November. The date hasn't been set yet. But for all of you, there will be another gathering to sort of talk about exactly what this will look like, what the rollout's going to be. And there we go. And then give you an opportunity to kind of talk through it and ask more questions and those types of things. So I'll just kind of go through a few of these things. We have a flyer that we can send out to you that has all this on it. But the SEED initiative, it stands for Springfield Engage, Empower, Deflect. And it's a collaborative partnership dedicated to creating a safer and healthier community by improving our approach to providing services to those impacted by homelessness, crime, violence, substance use, and mental health. Essentially, in terms of the homelessness system, the benefit of this is that it's going to expand what's currently happening from an outreach standpoint. There will be a team of deflection specialists that are currently being hired, and those specialists will really they'll work alongside police. They'll take referrals from the police department, and then they'll engage people and work to make direct referrals to organizations from there. So that's real quick, sort of how we see this initiative really impacting the homelessness system. I think it comes at a good time with some of the expansions that are currently happening. As a community, we are helping more people get into supportive housing opportunities each month than we ever have in our past. That's, I think, one of the concerns with this. It's great to do referrals, but we don't want to refer people to a waiting list. We want to have enough system movement that people are actually seeing people, move into housing opportunities. Additionally, with the Helping Hands shelter transition that's already in progress to some degree. This has the opportunity to come alongside that, I think, in an impactful way. So at our next meeting in October, and really before then, we'll send out information about exactly when that launch meeting will be, and it would be great to have all of you there. So that's something to look forward to. Any questions about that? I can try to speak more directly into. Okay, we'll look for more information. Again, I think that launch in early November, that gathering will be a great opportunity to really figure out how this will work, how referrals will work. So we'll hope you can be present for that.
All right, thank you. Did we take off from the original, the ICEJA project presentation?
We did.
I'm sitting here looking at my agenda.
Yeah, no, We weren't able to pull, it's helpful to mention in the agenda, we had a space there for ICEJA grants. We've been getting a lot of questions in part because of city council conversations that took place last month about a grant that the Springfield Police Department had that they granted out to different organizations. So we wanted to give an opportunity for those organizations to talk about that funding and the impact it'll make. But we weren't able to kind of get everybody connected for this meeting. So we want to hold that off until October.
And ditto for the SOAR initiative, same thing.
That Alexis had to cancel, but will be joining us at the next month too. So a lot of this.
I just want to make sure one of the two of us is correct on the agenda, and it's more likely going to be you than me. So I'm sorry. I printed out the one from the email.
No,
okay.
no problem.
Okay. Presentation on skill. Who will be doing that?
Yeah, so we have Pete Roberts here from the Springfield
Okay,
Center for Independent Living, and Nick and I had the chance to meet with Pete and some of his statewide counterparts, and really thought it would be great to have Pete with us today to talk about the work at the Springfield Center for Independent Living. So Pete, we're really grateful that you joined us. We'll give the floor to you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of the independent living movement before I talk about skilled services. Back in the late 60s, a fellow by the name of Ed Roberts had just graduated from junior college and was homeschooled due to his severe disability. He had polio and actually had to use an iron lung to breathe in. And his vocational rehabilitation counselor told him, no, he wasn't going to spend the money on someone that couldn't work after he got a degree. So Ed appealed, won the appeal, ended up at the University of Berkeley, California, but he had to live in the infirmary, which was called Cowell Hospital. But he was a successful student. And other people took note of that and actually sent other people with severe disabilities to the University of Berkeley because of Ed's success. Since they all lived together in this infirmary, Ed and his colleagues started talking about what they would like to do after they got their degrees and how they would like to live their lives. And they've recognized that most of the people that got services had to go to an institution to receive those services. So they came up with the idea of community-based services and came up with the foundation for the first Center for Independent Living in Berkeley that opened in 1972. And these folks that were at the University of Berkeley are the same group of people that opened up the first Center for Independent Living in Berkeley. And it's actually called the Center for Independent Living was the name of it. They came up with the idea for the kind of services that were needed. And the important part was that consumers were in control. And for consumers to be in control, they required that the board of directors be a majority of people with severe disabilities, that the majority of staff also be people with severe disabilities, and even the decision-making staff. They also came up with core services that I'll talk about a little bit here. And all centers for independent living in the country do provide these core services to be a bona fide center for independent living. The first one is advocacy. It's important part of what we do here at Skill. If somebody has an employment issue because they're not having a reasonable accommodation provided, Skill is willing to go in and work with the consumer on what needs to be done to help that person. We have systemic advocacy where if there's years ago, we had an issue with the housing authority. And 100% of the applications we helped consumers fill out were lost. So that became a systemic advocacy, and we went to the board of directors, met with the executive director, and worked that issue out, and they stopped losing all the applications. So that was a simple advocacy, but it was really an important one because people with disabilities really need housing like everybody else, and it's extraordinary because they need accessible housing. Peer counseling is another important aspect. People with disabilities, talking to other people with disabilities about their path. That is something we provided since we've opened our doors. We opened Skill in about 1985 and started providing those services at that time. Information and referral. Information is power, as we all know. If Skill doesn't provide that service, we refer to the appropriate agency that does. We have transition services. We have a reintegration program that is funded by the state. And we go to nursing homes and identify people that want to move out and live in their own apartment. And for those that qualify, we're able to provide first month's rent and deposit. We're able to buy the first month's groceries. We're able to buy furniture, beds, couches, and so on for that person. They do have to have their own means of income after the first month. It's quite an arduous process to make sure that the person is suitable to live independently. We have to have doctor's permissions. But it's really a great program, and to see and get to meet people that were moved out of a nursing home and into their own apartment is just a joy, really, to see. So we have contracts from the state of Illinois. We have a contract with the Independent Living Division. That contract does require that we meet the core services that I talked about a little bit. We hire staff to meet those services. We have about 9 staff here. About all 9 of us have a significant disability, I believe. We have a board of directors of 8 people right now. One just had to resign due to a personal issue. But I think we have all but one of our board members has a significant disability. Skill is, we just paid off our building about a year ago, which really freed up more funds to provide more services. So we were really pleased about that. I'm not sure I have anything else to say right now. Do you have any questions about what I've talked about, or?
This is Jane Ford. I would like to mention that Skill has continued incredible advocacy. They worked with us on night bus service, and it happened a great deal because their community came out to help support our efforts. So thank you, Pete.
Yeah, and that's something we back when the first day I started at Skill back in 1987, I attended a public hearing at an SMTD hearing at the Lincoln Library. And they announced that they would indeed be purchasing new buses with lifts, because we had 5 of our consumers sue SMTD because SMTD they were saying, we're not going to provide these lifts on buses. It's too expensive. So we had 5 consumers that sued SMTD, and they won the lawsuit. So my first day on the job was attend this hearing, listening to SMTD tell us that they would indeed be purchasing 9 new buses with lifts. And my job back then as an independent living specialist was to provide bus training and also other services to people with disabilities. So I've actually been tied to transportation really since I've been here. I happen to also chair the SMTD Disabled Persons Advisory Committee, which Jane also attends. And it really helps, I think, SMTD understand what the issues are for riders with disabilities as they occur. And we do have issues, and SMTD is very good at working them out as we identify what those issues are. We have a good working relationship with SMTD now. It's not as adversarial as it was back in 1987, but that's what we're willing to do. We're almost willing. We're really willing to bite the hand that feeds us. Most of our money comes from voc rehabilitation, but as we have issues with access to services for some of our consumers with voc rehab, we're willing to take that to task and make sure that that individual gets the services they deserve. I think peer counseling is important because most of us have disabilities ourselves. So as we have consumers coming to our office, they know that we understand a lot of the issues because we've been through those issues. And I think that's critical for us. I really felt as I came to Skill, having worked at ARC back in 1971, and then at Kaskaskia Workshop from like 1980 to 87, I felt like I was being born again, honestly, because of the attitude toward how we serve people. People we serve, they make the decisions, not anybody else. They make the decisions. They may make wrong decisions and we'll tell them, but it's their right to make mistakes like the rest of us have had that right to make our own mistakes. We feel people with disabilities also have a right to make their own mistakes. If they're critical mistakes, like they might harm themselves or something, of course, we would take that to task. But I'm really proud to be a staff person of the Springfield Center for Independent Living and what we stand for. And our job is to either help people become independent or to keep their independence. We do a lot of work with people just to make sure they keep their independence. As you can imagine, as you all know, the red tape that we have to go through with Social Security and public aid and all those agencies, we assist people to do that. We also help people sign up for the free bus passes and the license discount. Among other things, thank Jane for triggering this.
Well, thank you, Pete. Anybody else have any questions?
Just wanted to mention, I put the website for the Springfield Center for Independent Living there in the chat. And Pete, if you'd like to include your email in there, I think one of the great things about your organization is you have a lot of expertise in this space and serving people with disabilities. And I think we have a lot of questions that pop up within organizations at times about reasonable accommodations and how to do that. And I think your organization is a valuable resource to our organizations as they do the work they do. So we really appreciate your time and helping to make sure that these resources are out there for folks to connect with.
What I didn't mention, Josh, was the people we met with. John Herring is the director of the Illinois Network of Centers for Independent Living. And we have 22 Centers for Independent Living in the state of Illinois. And there are some satellite offices. And also Shelley Richardson is the director of the Statewide Independent Living Council, which is really the think tank of providing a state plan for independent living every 3 years that the Centers for Independent Living follow, and we agree on that plan, and we all sign off on that plan or agree to disagree on that plan. So we have a wonderful statewide, two wonderful statewide organizations that really assist us. The other thing, I don't know if I mentioned that there are over 400 Centers for Independent Living in the United States. I think there's like 300 and some satellite offices. So like, for example, Rockford counts as one Center for Independent Living, but they also have 3 satellite offices. So thank you. Thank you, Josh.
Oh, and I'm pleased that the city has had a long-term commitment to Skill to provide funding for ramps.
Yes.
That's a really important thing, and it's always does my heart good when I see a ramp go up and someone who has better access into their home. So thank you also, Pete, for doing that for us.
Absolutely. We love that since Mayor Ozzie Langfelder was in office, they've given us, every mayor has given us funding to build ramps for people with disabilities because it really fits what the city wants to do with some of their community development block grant funds. So we were fortunate to have that. Another thing that's happened that they haven't initiated yet is we at NSIL advocated with the legislature to get more funding for ramps and home modifications. And they've allotted $7.5 million to Centers for Independent Living, but they haven't rolled out the procedures and the process we have to go through. But at some point in time, I think later this year, Skill will receive funding that we can use outside the city limits of Springfield. Right now, we're tied to the city limits because of the grant with the city. But after these funds come in, we can also serve rural Sangamon County, and we also serve Menard, Logan, Christian, and Montgomery County, as well as Sangamon. So, and we do have staff that travel to those counties. We have a steady stream of people who come to our office every day. And it's just really a wonderful job. I'm grateful to have this job.
Pete, you and your staff are amazing. You're small but mighty, and we really appreciate from the community all that you do for us. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. We used to be more involved with the continuum of care back when.
Well, we would welcome that.
Yes.
Prior to COVID, I think. We all ducked when we got COVID. And actually, we had 2 or 3 of our staff, including me, that had COVID about 2 or 3 months ago. So we're still cautious, but our doors are open.
Well, we would sure welcome some participation as time works for all of you. So thank you again.
I think that's our plan, is to get back involved. So thank you.
All right. Let's talk about the Helping Hands Emergency Shelter transition update. Laura, are you going to give that?
Yeah, I'll give it. So on September 11th, Helping Hands assumed operations of the overflow shelter. So it is now Helping Hands North, and then our original location was Helping Hands South. We are providing services there. Day services, all day services are over there now. So it's operating 24/7. We're providing meals and case management. We've done new intakes on everyone, so we should have updated data in the system, which we all love. As far as the Dirksen facility, we're still looking at a January 1st date of opening, and we're working with local moving company to determine what it's going to take to get us moved over there. Construction is going well. We receive bi-weekly updates. So everything is on track at this point.
All right. Well, thank you. The community thanks you for stepping in like that. We know that was a little bit of a heavy lift for you, so we really appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions for Laura?
Laura, you might also mention the Taste for the Homeless partnership y'all have going still today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to throw that in the agency updates, but yes, we do have the Taste for the Homeless event happening at this point. So it's located right outside of our south location, right along 11th Street. Chef Michael Earhart from Chicago is there, and he's serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner to anyone who has a need. So please come out. If you have clients that are experiencing homelessness, please refer them over. He makes some amazing food, and it's been a fun time. I want to thank Heartland House for providing the funding for, and I believe Jane Ford as well, for providing accommodations for chefs so that he can make this happen. So please come out. It's a great time.
Tell us when it is again, Laura.
It is today and tomorrow. He'll be serving. So it's 8 o'clock, noon, and 6 p.m. For the next 2 days.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions for Laura? Okay, the NOFO recommended rank list. Josh, I'm sure that's you.
Yes, it is. One of the things that consumes a lot of our time and energy this time of year is HUD's Continuum of Care competition. The Notice of Funding Opportunity, so NOFO, I guess, is the probably not a helpful acronym to, but so I just want to sort of recap as a community. You've probably seen the general membership emails coming out over the course of the last couple of months. One of the things we're tasked with is having a local competition that basically scores projects that have previously been funded as renewal projects, but also makes some space for new projects. And then as a community, we really have to look at what our data is saying, how projects are performing, and make decisions about what we recommend for funding from HUD and what we don't. So it's always a bit of a intense process and a difficult process. And I wanted to share with you all the recommended ranked list for this competition. Just to walk you through a little bit of it, there's two big parts to this grant process. One is this local competition to determine what projects we submit for funding. The other part is what's called the collaborative application, which basically asks us questions about all of the things we are doing and have done as a continuum of care. And then HUD scores us as a community, which determines if we potentially keep our funding, get new funding, or lose funding. So in last year's competition, it was one of the first times in quite a while that our community got new funding from HUD. So basically the way that HUD does this, they'll tell you your annual renewal demand, which this year is $436,714. And they break that up into two tiers. The first tier, the percentage of that fluctuates each year. This year it was 95%, I believe. And so this first tier, whatever projects land in this tier are virtually guaranteed their funding. But then the tier 2 projects, it's basically depends on how we score as a community and what funding is available from HUD, whether these projects get funded or not. And so one part of that is that HUD makes bonus money available for us to apply for with new projects each year. This year, that amount was $49,748. Additionally, we are eligible to apply for $71,068 for DV bonus, a domestic violence bonus project. And then this year, we are eligible to apply for $50,000 for a continuum of care planning grant. That's a grant we've gotten the past 2 to 3 years that goes to support continuum of care staff. One notable thing is that last year, this amount was just over $20,000 and HUD has increased it to $50,000. So that's a significant boost that we have the potential to bring in as a community. So I will show you the projects here and make a little space for questions. But in tier 1, all of these projects are renewal projects. They're projects that have previously existed in our community. We did have a new project, permanent supportive housing for Park Avenue through Helping Hands. And then we also did reallocate some funding from a project that, as we scored, landed in the space of reallocation. So some of the funds you'll see in the note here from that project were reallocated to this new project. We do have, in the past few years, we have not had a project go for the domestic violence bonus funding. This year, we're really grateful for Abundant Faith, who really has sort of stepped out to see this as a way that they can help our community and really has kind of been jumping into this for the first time. So we're really grateful for that. And then you'll see the planning grant there at the bottom. So this has been approved by the Heartland Continuum of Care Board. This will be submitted to HUD next week as a part of our full collaborative application, but really wanted to take a moment today to just sort of walk you through it, help you understand what's here. One of the things that I want to point out as a community, while a little 10 to 15 years ago, we were getting about $650,000 as a community, that amount slowly sort of dwindled away. We're actively working to now increase the amount of funding coming in from HUD. But one of the things I want to highlight is that, the new state funding to address homelessness for permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, shelter diversion is almost 3 times what we're getting from the federal government. So I just want to continue to elevate that as you have opportunity to talk with state representatives. Make sure to demonstrate your gratitude for the impact of their budget decisions. That's historically, we've always looked to the federal government to say that's where a bulk of our funding is going to come from. And what the state of Illinois has done is really extraordinary. And we really need and would appreciate them to continue that level of funding as they move forward. So that's all of my spiel, but I'd be happy to take any questions if anybody has any. If not, we'll be posting our collaborative application publicly. We'll send an email about that. That likely will take place on Monday, and then that full grant gets submitted next Thursday.
All right, just thank you, Josh. I know leading a team to look at all this was an arduous task. So thank you to you and all of those that took the time to do that. We appreciate it. Agency updates. Does anyone have an agency update?
This is Dave at Sangamon County Community Resources. LIHEAP will start October the 2nd. We're doing appointments this year, and we have the appointment link on our website. And we've already, our first 5 days are completely full already, 72 appointments each day. The first month is for seniors, disabled, and families with at least one child under the age of 6. November 1st, it's for people who are disconnected or have a disconnect notice. And then December 1st is when the general public can start applying that don't meet the other 2 months criteria. We've added 4 people to our staff for intake clerks. And they're in training now for when a week from Monday hits, and all heck breaks loose. So, we're looking forward to seeing how this. I think the appointments will help quite a bit and allow us to see just as many people. The program has been extended. It normally ends at the end of May. It will, as long as there's funding left, it will continue until August 15th of 2024.
And how is the funding? How are the funding levels? I know, Dave, you had warned us that there was going to be a decrease that you felt like. Did we have a significant decrease?
We lost about $500,000.
Oh, that's significant.
Yep.
And given the response that you've had already, that's gonna be significant. Thank you, Dave, for all you're doing. Anybody have any questions for Dave? All right, anybody else?
I do. I want to throw something out. So I've received a lot of phone calls for street outreach. I know this is something that we've talked about just as an agency and as a community doing the street outreach. And I just wanted to give an update on where we are with this. So our street outreach is funded by ESG. And we received notification about a month ago that while our contract was approved, our budget was approved, and we should go ahead and start hiring, we then got an update that the state has not received approval from HUD for ESG funding. So at this time, while we're getting referrals and we're doing what we can to do outreach, we have not hired dedicated outreach workers because we're not sure if that HUD funding is going to go through. So if you're looking around and wondering, why are there still people out there and nobody's working with them? Again, as a community, we're doing the best that we can, but we can't hire if we don't have funding. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Maybe helpful too. Jamie, would you mind taking a minute just to talk about the work of the Street Outreach Task Group and extend an invitation to anybody on this call who might want to join up with that effort?
Yeah, sure. The task group is meeting bi-weekly and we're working off a by names list, pulling in different agencies in the community to promote collaboration, but also ensure that the needs of those in our community are being met with the appropriate resources. So if you guys have more questions, please feel free to email me. I'll put my name in the chat and I can always send the calendar invite. And I can provide, make sure you guys are joining the meeting. And what am I missing, Josh? Anything?
Yeah, I think probably for this body, one of the things I think it's important to keep in mind is that the landscape of street outreach in our community is that there are very few fully devoted street outreach workers. You know, the city of Springfield has the homeless outreach team, Officer Newman, and then Shannon Allen is the community care coordinator. Those are full-time, you know, working in the outreach space. Apart from that, you know, a lot of what happens from an outreach standpoint is organizations allowing people with different jobs to use a portion of their job to do outreach. And so that's part of why, as a continuum of care, we elevated street outreach as a priority for emergency solutions grant funding. So this is an area where we absolutely need to grow as a community. That SEED initiative hopefully will come right alongside this task group and be another asset. But it's certainly an area that we've recognized as a community needs growth.
Josh, I just want to jump in. This is Dawn Mobley from SIU Medicine. We actually have also received some funding and have been working on, well, patiently waiting. The part of that SEED grant, there is also a co-responder grant that has partnered with that. And we are able to dedicate some of our community health worker time to partner and work with Officer Newman and Shannon Allen to do that. And we do have a community health worker that is working at our internal medicine clinic that is located at the Salvation Army. There are 2 days a week that there is a general clinic there that's a walk-in clinic. I don't know if you guys all know about that. Hopefully you do. But if you don't, that is on Monday and Tuesday mornings from 8:30 to 11:30. We have a doctor there on staff that is able to see individuals that on a walk-in basis, as well as just doing regular appointments there. And we have recently added a women's health clinic on Tuesday mornings. That would be great for you guys to refer women to that clinic that maybe do not have a PCP. They don't have regular care currently. We are looking for patients to come to that clinic time. And again, that is from 8:30. They're open from 8:30 to 11:30. And we have one of our internal medicine physicians, Dr. Kaganen, and then she will rotate biweekly with one of our nurse practitioners. They're able to do some basic procedures as well as do just women's checkups, that kind of thing.
That's great, Dawn. Thank you.
Where is that located?
It is at the Salvation Army there on Clear Lake.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just sort of while we're on the street outreach space too, just want to elevate that we've begun a process of developing community standards. We are working with Homebase to do that. And the three areas we're working on community standards for are street outreach, permanent supportive housing, and emergency shelter. So we already have a draft of the street outreach community standards, and we'll be pulling together street outreach partners to walk through that too. But that's another big part of it, is really, not just having a lot of people in the community doing outreach, but really doing it in a coordinated way that's connected to referrals and data collection and all those types of things. So a lot of infrastructure being built to really improve on that effort moving forward.
John, would you repeat again the days and the times?
Sorry, I muted myself. I'll put it in the chat, but Monday and Thursday is the regular clinic. Anybody can come. Tuesday is the women's clinic, and that's 8:30 to 11:30 at the Salvation Army.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any additional agency updates?
Well, I'm not sure if this is the time to talk for people that are not involved with, for businesses that are not involved with the agencies or not. So I was trying to follow your
You
call to
just go
order.
right ahead. We're fine. We can always enter, we can do whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, this is my first time to this meeting, so if I trip a little bit, please forgive me. My name is Robert Frazier, and I am with Clean Slate Advocates. We're a non-for-profit that's just been started here in Springfield. We are on the ground floor, on the street level of a new program. And this program is called From Soap to Hope Challenge. And in this program, let me skip it. The concept is simple. Anyone that is experiencing challenges with getting their laundry clean or can't afford to wash or dry their laundry, CSA, Clean Slate Advocate, will provide an option for you to do it for free. Yes, absolutely free. Also, on top of that, we've added that people that are in need of and can't afford bath towels, washcloths, pillowcases, sheets, blankets, and things of that nature. We also are now adding, per request, pillows and also cleanup package with buckets filled with cleaning material and wash rags. We are actively giving those out now also. So that's what we're doing in the community. It's the first time that I know of that's been offered. And where you go to receive these items and make requests is All-in-One Laundry Centers, All-in-One Laundry on 801 South Grand Avenue East. Phone number is 217-544-5058. Just let them know that you're here to request to get some things done through the CSA program, and they will be more than happy to help you. We are busy. We are handing out a lot of items already. We have more orders for more stuff to come in. Everything is brand new. Nothing is a hand-me-down. This is all one of our concepts is that by offering these services free of charge, we hope to foster an environment of inclusivity and unity. When people from various backgrounds come together in a shared experience, it helps build the community bond, dismantle prejudices, and promote mutual respect. We invite everyone to be a part of this transformational movement and journey, redefining cleanliness and community compassion. And that's my
so thrilled. I'm so thrilled that you joined this morning. Thank you. And I'm just going to give him another quick shout out after the derecho. How much laundry they offered free laundry to people who didn't have electricity, didn't power, weren't able to get laundry done. How many tons was it? You told me at one point, or maybe
during that we offered a 3-day people come in to wash their clothes and what have you. We did over 14,000 loads.
Yeah. And
in partnership with Springfield Clinic, that we were able to get that done. So it was it's been something that we've been doing on our own. We are blessed. We're working hard. We do commercial linen throughout the state. We also have a coin laundry that's set up there. We have all brand new commercial equipment. Everything is well right now. We've been supporting this program for ourselves and a few partnerships that we made. We'll be looking forward to partner with other folks and the community. We know we're going to get a lot of support from individuals and local businesses and whatever have you, to make this a successful program. So we're excited. People are needing it. People are using it, and we're getting things cleaned up. So hopefully it will help as these different diseases and different things are affecting the public. Maybe we can get ahead of that by helping with clean linen and all of those type of things, which we utilize every day. Everybody does.
All right. Thank you.
Just what, Robert, I know, I feel like I hear about organizations working with you all about every other week. I know that you all are a huge partner for a lot of our organizations, but if you would include any information in the chat, we would be happy to, include that in the general membership email that goes out to you.
Thank you so much. We will, like I said, I'm spearing up this program, especially so, not a lot of time, but I'm trying to get as much information out there as quick as I get it. And so bear with us a little bit, and feel free to reach out at any time.
Fantastic.
I do have a question for Robert. Are you a 501c3 or do you have intentions of being one?
We are in, already have applied. We are a non-for-profit with our 501c3 actually in the works. It's already been submitted.
Wonderful. I would really love to know when that's completed.
Certainly, we're waiting on the government.
Yeah, thanks.
We sure know about that.
But we decided a long while ago, if we made the decision a while back that either we could sit and wait on that, or we move forward. And we felt as though the public need was a lot more important than whether or not, however long it took to be a 501c3, obviously was not as important. So, but we move forward anyway.
Okay. Any other agency updates or public comments?
I'd like to add that Mercy is currently searching for a case manager for our rapid rehousing units, and also a case aide to assist all of our case management staff. So I'm going to drop my email in the chat if anybody would like to submit a referral, or anyone is interested in that position or those positions. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Real quickly, everyone be checking your emails, and I'll be sending out some flyers, but Heartland House is looking to build a lived experience advisory board. And so I've been hosting a couple of focus groups at the library. It's for anyone with lived experience of homelessness in the past or current. We have snacks and they are compensated for their time, but it's really just a space for them to come and share their story and their experiences and ask a couple of questions. And we have about an hour of just discussion of what's going on. But just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up to be looking out for the newsletter and the flyers that will be sent out. So.
Any other updates? Okay, well, our next meeting will be the annual meeting, and that's October the 19th at 9 a.m. And with nothing else, Josh, do you have anything finally?
Just going to say we're going to be over the top and putting the Zoom link out there for the next meeting. So our apologies for that. Thanks for bearing with us.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Jane Ford.
Thank you, Jane. Appreciate it. All right, we'll close this meeting at 9:59 a.m. Boy, kept it right under. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in a month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.